right. Welcome to everybody. My name is Elaine Haney, and I am the Executive Director of Emerge Vermont. And welcome to our second annual Local Candidate Spotlight. Tonight, we'll hear from a dozen candidates who are running for local office from all over Vermont. We'll also hear from our special guests, Secretary of State Sarah Copeland Hanzus and Representative Mike McCarthy, Chair of the House Government Operations Committee and former St. Albans City Councilor. We'd like to thank our many sponsors for this evening, and especially the members of Men for Emerge Vermont, our allies and advocates working to support our work of recruiting and training more women to run for office. A lot of people don't think about running for local office, and many don't think local elected officials can make a difference. But from experience, I can tell you that serving in local office can be some of the most impactful work you will do in your entire life. You've probably heard the phrase, think globally, act locally. When you serve in local office, you can see pretty quickly the impact of your work on your community. And when that happens, it just makes you want to do more. The relationships you build when running for local office and serving as an elected official are unmatchable. You get to know your neighbors, the people working in your downtown, the senior citizens, the teenagers. Your entire community becomes a living, breathing organism that has entrusted to you their hopes, their needs, and their problems. It's a privilege, it's exciting, it's a whole lot of work, and sometimes it can be really challenging. What's also challenging is making sure that the people sitting at the tables of local government who are making decisions that impact our daily lives are as representative of the community as possible. The Center for Research on Vermont reports that only a third of select board members in Vermont are women. Far fewer members are people of color. When a local governing body does not reflect the demographics of a community, it's not possible to make good decisions that take everyone's lived experience into account. That's why Emerge Vermont works as hard as we do to recruit and train women to run for office. Our goal is to increase Vermont women's representation at every level of Vermont government. Right now, women make up 44% of the Vermont legislature, the highest it's ever been. We're aiming to substantially increase the number of women on select boards and school boards too. There are 23 Emerge Vermont alums serving on select boards and school boards throughout Vermont, some of them the incumbents you'll meet tonight. We're going to keep training more and more women to run for office and increase that number exponentially. From Bakersfield to Brattleboro, these alums of Emerge Vermont training programs are making a difference in their communities. Some are incumbents, some have run before, and some are first-time candidates. This evening, we'll see and hear from committed, passionate candidates who will inspire you. You'll come away from our time together knowing the potential and power of women's leadership. I'm excited to introduce these candidates to you tonight, and I hope you'll support them as they campaign through the next few weeks leading up to town meeting day. So let's get started. We'll begin in Southern Vermont. Our first candidate tonight is Cecil Renish-Smith, who is running for a one-year seat on the Brandon Select Board, and she is here tonight from Rutland County. Welcome, Cecil.
Hi, I think I unmuted myself. I want to thank Men for Emerge Vermont and Emerge Vermont for inviting me to participate in tonight's spotlight. I appreciate this opportunity to let you know why I'm running for the Brandon Select Board.
Oh, look at her. Look at this.
Oh, I'm sorry.
They hear you.
Did I go away? No.
Go ahead, Cecil, you're good.
I appreciate this opportunity to let you know why I'm running for the Brandon Select Board. Brandon is a wonderful town to live, work, and play, but like the rest of Vermont, we're facing new challenges. Our agricultural economy is going away. Our workforce is shrinking as young families find it more difficult to find affordable housing. So I want to help Brandon grow and prosper while retaining its small town magic. I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself and why I think I'm a good fit for the Select Board. Although I'm new to Brandon, I'm not new to Vermont. I graduated from Vermont Law School, and my mother lived in Bethel for decades. In 2018, when my mother was diagnosed with dementia, I came back to take care of her, and I found Brandon to be my new hometown. We were drawn to Brandon's vibrant downtown, its active arts community, and its abundant recreational communities. And we were warmly welcomed by everyone we met and quickly felt at home. So as I thought about ways that I could help my new town, my new hometown, I realized that my background could be of great use to town governance. As an attorney in private practice and later as an assistant attorney general for the state of Oregon, I represented municipal, county, and state agencies in a wide range of actions, ranging from employment disputes to constitutional claims. I understand how government functions. I understand how things can go wrong, how to avoid things going wrong, and how to fix those things when they do go wrong. I know how to read and apply the law, a skill that would serve the board and community well. Finally, and most importantly, I play well with others. I'm able to work collegially and with respect for viewpoints different from mine. I'm open-minded and always ready to admit when I'm wrong or have made a mistake. I'm excited to be running for select board. I will bring to it a much needed perspective and new energy. There hasn't been a woman on the Brandon Select Board in over 10 years. And I will be thrilled to be able to give back to the town that has already given me so much. I don't know how many of you are actually live in Brandon or know Brandon residents, but I'd love your support. And if you'd like to support my campaign other ways, I do have an Act Blue account. You can just search for Cecil. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Cecil. And let's give some applause, some hearts up in the screens there if you're appreciating Cecil's speech. Best of luck on town meeting day, Cecil. Our next candidate comes from Windham County. Her name is Edie Edwards. She is running for a spot on the Halifax Select Board, and she is a member of the class of 22 of Emerge Vermont. Welcome, Edie.
Thanks. I'm Edie Edwards, and Halifax, I'm asking for your vote. Elected as the first woman on the select board in Halifax ever in 2010, I was re-elected in 2013. I served a year as vice chair and another year as chair of the board. Helping the town recover from Tropical Storm Irene particularly was important to me. It gave me a good sense of how government works at all levels. But importantly, it gave me a sense of how Halifax as a small town comes together in times of crisis. I had to move away for a job in 2015, but I got back as soon as I could to my home in Halifax in June of 2020. I did serve in an appointed position on the select board from February to May of 2022. I would be honored to serve our town again. Much has changed, but I'd like to offer the experience I bring to our town oversight with now a 5-person select board. Having a roadmap for COVID recovery and resiliency is also important to me. We've been through a lot. But so too is taking some time to celebrate. And DV Fiber is finally going to bring high-speed internet to every corner of Halifax between 2023 and 2025. And that is definitely something we should celebrate. While I'm running unopposed, that doesn't make this election unimportant. Mud season's already started, folks. We have much to do. So I thank you for your vote for me, Edie Edwards, either early or on town meeting day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Edie. Best of luck on town meeting day. Our next two candidates were not able to be with us this evening, but they sent us some videos so that we could see their stump speeches. So we're going to be hearing from Alex Hilliard, who is a member of the class of 23, and Alex is running for a position on the Poultney Select Board in Rutland County.
Hi, my name is Alex Hilliard, and I'm running for Poultney Select Board. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to tell you a little bit more about myself as a candidate. After graduating from high school, I came to Poultney to attend Green Mountain College. I've lived here for the better part of the last 14 years. I love Poultney, and I'm committed to raising my 3 children here. Some things that I love about Poultney include how walkable of a town this is, how friendly and neighborly the people are, and excitement around the outdoor recreation economy. I'm so appreciative of the current select board for all that they've done to improve our town. I'm concerned about accountability and transparency, and I'm concerned about the degree to which the select board is representing the people of Poultney. As a new business owner and personal trainer, I spent a lot of time in the town of Poultney getting to know other people and getting civically engaged. I will continue to use the skills that I have for networking and getting to know others to learn about how I can best effectively serve you. I'm running for Poultney Select Board because I know I have the ability to cross party lines, make unbiased decisions in a nonpartisan way, and ensure that all voices are being represented. I bring small business experience and connections to attract and support businesses that align with Poultney's interests. As a member of Cedar's board, I am committed to ensuring Poultney's representation in joint marketing efforts. I bring valuable connections to organizations focused on issues such as women's rights and sustainable economic growth. My top 6 skills and traits include strong leadership, effective communication, accountability, integrity, empathy, and problem solving. I hold a master's degree in business administration from Green Mountain College. I have leadership and governance experience through student government in high school and college, event organizing and facilitation skills, and training through Rights and Democracy's Catalyst Leadership Program and Emerge Vermont's Signature Leadership Training Program, and am eager to use these skills to make an impact in Poultney. I am dedicated to active participation and balancing work life to serve effectively. I am willing to learn about any issues that arise during my tenure, including infrastructure. I am committed to unbiased decision-making and addressing conflicts of interest and ethical issues. I advocate for anti-racism and social justice, and am willing to share educational resources with my colleagues. I strive for respectful and inclusive communication while balancing effective collaboration. I care deeply about community trust, working across party lines, and supporting shared goals. I hope this town meeting day, March 7th, you'll get out and vote. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alex. And now we are going to.
Hi, my name is Alex Hilliard, and
Now we are going to hear from our second guest who was unable to be here this evening. Seton McElroy is an incumbent board chair of the Village of Woodstock, and she is seeking re-election to the Woodstock Board of Trustees.
Hi, my name is Seton McElroy. I'm a resident of the Village of Woodstock, Vermont, and I'm the current chair of the Woodstock Village Board of Trustees. I'm running for a second 3-year term as a village board member. The reason that I'm running for re-election is because I'd like to continue the work that this board and the community has done over the past 3 years. Like many municipalities, it's been challenging. When I was first elected back in 2020, it was in the midst of the COVID lockdown. Our municipality did a great job coming together with the community to figure out how to keep services going and keep our community members safe. Since then, we've been on an upswing. We've had new businesses open in the past year. Our tourism is back and stronger than ever, and we've welcomed many new visitors as well as full-time residents. Over the next couple of years, we have a couple of challenges that we need to overcome. A lot of that is figuring out infrastructure for how we can better serve these new residents, these new visitors, and businesses. But I know that with the trustees, the select board, a new municipal manager, a new planning and zoning manager, and a new manager of public works that we've hired within the last 6 months, that we will be able to face these challenges head on. I hope that on village meeting day in March, that you'll re-elect me as a member of the Village Board of Trustees. Thank you.
Thank you, Seton. Seton is a member of the class of 2021, and she is an incumbent running for re-election to the Woodstock Board of Trustees. Rounding out our visit to Southern Vermont, we are going to hear now from candidate Elizabeth McLaughlin. Elizabeth is a member of the class of 2014, and she is an incumbent on the Brattleboro Select Board. Welcome, Elizabeth.
Thanks, Elaine. Thank you, men from Emerge. My name is Liz McLaughlin. I'm running for re-election to the Brattleboro Select Board. I am a wife, a mother, and a grandmother. I'm also a small business owner of an environmental planning consultancy. I run with the experience of a 4-year incumbent who seeks to continue the job of providing for the needs of the town while respecting the taxpayer burden. As we emerge from the pandemic with a new town manager, I am eager to get back to work determining how to spend our COVID ARPA money, setting the course on the right ambulance service, and supporting our police. We need police, mental health and social services, including restorative justice, but let's not take from one to pay for the other. Also, our legislature and judiciary need to fix the revolving door of arrests of persons who commit crimes that may suffer from mental illness. State money for mental health and addiction treatment is needed. In terms of housing policy, our town planners have reduced barriers to create new housing. We encourage new and rehabilitated housing units. There's no benefit to demonizing landlords. Brattleboro's strength lies in our collaborations with volunteers and nonprofits and with the state of Vermont. The next few years are pivotal for the Brattleboro Select Board. We need to work with town staff to be smart about our own ARPA spending and to work with the state to make sure Vermont's ARPA and infrastructure spending can be used to support Brattleboro's needs, so critical now and for the future of our community. My campaign tagline is Liz McLaughlin, pragmatic, optimistic, and wise. POW. I'm asking for your vote on March 7th. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Liz. Best of luck on town meeting day. Thank you, everyone from Southern Vermont, for your excellent speeches. And now we're going to take a little detour, and I'm pleased to introduce our first guest speaker of the evening. Representative Mike McCarthy represents St. Albans City in the District of Franklin 8. He recently ended his time on the St. Albans City Council, and he is also the chair of the House Government Operations Committee. I'm really honored to welcome Rep. McCarthy here this evening.
Thank you so much, Elaine, for the invite. I am very proud to be a man for Emerge, and I want to note that my mom and Emerge alum Pam McCarthy is on the call, and I hope that I'm making her proud in my service as the chair of the House Gov Ops and Military Affairs Committee. I have been in and out of the legislature for about a decade now, and I just wrapped up 2 terms on the St. Albans City Council. And one of the things I wanted to come here tonight to say was that a few months ago, when my neighbor, a teacher across the street, a fabulous woman who had served as a former select board chair, came to me and said, you know, if you ever want to give up that seat on the council, I'm really interested in serving. And the relief that I felt that there was somebody who wanted to take on that seat after 6 years, and with me getting more involved in my legislative work, and the fact that we only have one woman on the council now, Marie Bissett, who's fabulous, but with the mayor, that's 1 out of 7. And the opportunity for me to step aside, not run again, and support this fabulous, talented teacher across the street in her run is just great. And so Trudy's running unopposed, and Trudy Coffey will be the new Ward 4 alderperson, and I'm so excited to have her doing that. I love local government. It's so important for so many reasons that all of you have mentioned, the candidates who did your fabulous stump speeches. It's so important for us as Democrats to get more involved in supporting local candidates. And that's part of why I support Emerge and many of the fabulous candidates that we were able to recruit to run from the House started out as candidates who were running for local office. I see local candidates on our select boards, our school boards, and other local offices as the bench for the Vermont House Democrats, Senate Democrats, and eventually statewide. We need your voices now at the local level more than ever. A couple of the things that we're working on right now in the House Gov Ops and Military Affairs Committee, we spent most of the day talking about this elections bill that I've been working on for the past few weeks, and it's ideas that have really come out of the experience of candidates across parties, but particularly Democrats and voters and local officials, trying to make it easier for clerks to administer our elections, where the rubber meets the road in terms of our local government, trying to make it so that more Vermonters can actually participate in voting through the electronic return of ballots for overseas service people and civilian Vermonters living overseas, and also disabled Vermonters who have disabilities, to be able to make sure they can cast their ballot. So we're doing a whole bunch of things to improve access to democracy. But when you're a local official, you have the ability to have such an influence on your community in really key areas. In my experience on the city council, I saw the investment in economic development. I heard Liz McLaughlin just now talk about police. We've had a transformational last few years in St. Albans, going from a place that had multiple use of force incidents to now having a police advisory board and changed leadership and renewed public faith in police and law enforcement. And now that I'm serving on the committee that our now Secretary of State, my mentor in lots of ways, Sarah Copeland-Hansis, chaired before me, we have the authority about public safety administration and how we train and certify law enforcement officers on this committee. And so the experience that I had in local government, working with my local police department, directly informs the everyday work that we're doing now as we look at the Criminal Justice Council. And one of the most fabulous things that I've gotten to do in the beginning of the session was to stand up at the podium a couple of weeks ago with our new Attorney General and Emerge alum Charity Clark, as she rolled out the recommendations of the Domestic Violence Fatality Review Commission. And they had some serious recommendations for my committee to take a look at how we prevent domestic violence fatalities, especially in regard to law enforcement and the way that we deal with relief from abuse orders. Charity, after the event, took me aside and thanked me for being the dude, the one guy at the podium. I don't have any problem backing up and being on the team of really powerful, amazing Democratic women who are doing incredible things for our state. I'm very proud to be here tonight. I want to just encourage everyone to support Emerge and the great work that Elaine and all of you are doing to build the bench of local candidates here tonight, but also just to serve our community so well and to promote the democratic values that we all share. So thank you for all the hard work that all of you candidates are doing. Good luck in all of your races. And I'm very proud to be here tonight to support you all.
Thank you so much, Mike, for your encouragement and for your service and for continuing to support women in leadership. And I know your mom is really proud of you. Thank you so much. We're going to move now to Central Vermont, where we have a few candidates that are running for re-election. The first one is an incumbent who was appointed to the Middlebury Select Board late last year, and she is now running for the seat to which she was appointed. Her name is Izzy Gogarty, and she is a member of the class of 2023. Welcome, Izzy.
Thank you, Elaine, and thank you, Men for Emerge, for hosting tonight and letting local candidates like myself share why we're so passionate about holding the seats and gaining the seats that we'd like to have. So a little bit about me. By day, I serve the Middlebury community as their middle school health teacher. And every other Tuesday, I serve the Middlebury community by representing them on the Middlebury Select Board, like Elaine said, as a recently appointed member. On March 7th, I'll run on my own regard to fill a 2-year seat. And I'm running for Middlebury Select Board because if there's anything that I've learned about being a middle school health teacher, it's how important a sense of belonging is to every single person. When we think about just tonight, our ability to be here on Zoom outside of our role as professionals, outside of our role as parents, outside of our role as partners, we have a community that we've built here at Emerge, and I want to replicate that within my community to all people, regardless of the color of their skin, regardless of their income, and regardless of their age. Every person in the Middlebury community deserves to feel the community that wrapped around me and made me be able, as a 24-year-old, to be elected to local office. Some ways that I hope to build community within Middlebury is by expanding the number of slots that we have at our already spectacular summer camps and already spectacular daycares. Our frontline workers that are working those summer camps and working those daycares are doing a tremendous job. They just need support and they just need resources. And I'm hoping to give them that through funding and through our budget process. Another great project that's on the works for the Middlebury Select Board is choosing to expand our library. Our library is a third place within our community, a place outside of work, outside of home, where people of all walks of life find themselves at all hours of the day. It's my goal to expand and increase space in that library so that groups can meet just like us here at Vermont, as well as holding community-based programming based on hobbies and interests. So I hope that while we had an amazing time and we will continue to have an amazing time here tonight building on our community at Emerge, you go out into your communities on March 7th, vote, and hopefully bring a friend along with you to vote. But thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Izzy, and best of luck on town meeting day. Our next candidate is also an incumbent. Jo Sable Courtney is a graduate of the class of 2020, and she is running for re-election to the Stowe Select Board. Welcome, Jo.
Thank you, Elaine. I am so happy to be here. I've been in the Stowe Select Board position for 2 years, and I am running unopposed for my second term. Yay. I've lived in Stowe and have been involved community member for over 30 years, working in tourism and the arts predominantly. And I'm currently working with Discover New England, which is the international tourism marketing organization for all 6 New England states. What I appreciate about being on the select board, and people ask me, I tell them I love it. Working with, hearing from constituents, sitting down with constituents, knowing I don't have the answers, but I want to hear what they have to say. Working in tandem with fellow board members, we pull together in one harness. We are nonpartisan, and I really appreciate that. The issues facing us in Stowe are myriad. Stowe's growth was 21% in the last census. That doesn't count 2020, which was a big COVID migration year. We're not the same town. We're not going to be the same town, and we have to be visionaries with that in mind. My goal is to balance the old with the new. Issues we're dealing with are, like everybody else, affordable and workforce housing. Short-term rentals are through the roof in Stowe. Homeowners are facing serious property tax increases due to reappraisal. Public safety is a municipal responsibility that I feel keenly. We're facing a shortage of firefighters because people simply don't volunteer. We're dealing with capacity issues. We're understaffed and will be adding positions to our municipal staff if our budget is approved on town meeting day. To keep our property taxes manageable, we will be voting on a 1% sales option tax. In 2016, Bernie, and I was a Bernie delegate in 2016 to the convention, Bernie said over and over again, run. And I kept hearing, run, Joe. I couldn't get him out of my head. And I'm really glad I ran. Thank you, Bernie. And I'll cede my time to the next candidate. It has been an honor. And thank you to the dudes of Emerge, as Mike would say. Thank you.
Thank you, Jo. Best of luck on town meeting day. And now Mike McCarthy is going to come back and introduce our keynote speaker.
So I mentioned our new Secretary of State, but when she decided to run for statewide office and left this chair seat open, I didn't know at the time that the speaker would appoint me to fill those very big shoes. Sarah Copeland-Hanzis, in her long experience as a member of the House leadership, state representative from Bradford, committee chair, has done so much for Vermont. She championed election reform, access to our ballots. She gave me the pleasure of co-reporting the universal vote by mail bill with her. She has done so much in terms of equity and social justice with her work on a number of bills to combat racial disparities, the Truth and Reconciliation Bill, constitutional amendments. I could talk forever about all of the awesome things that Sarah Copeland Hansis has done. She embodies what it is to be a Democratic leader, and I am so proud to be her friend and ally and colleague, and I'm trying to do her proud in doing her old job as the chair of House Gov Ops. So I am very proud to introduce my friend Sarah Copeland Hansis, our Secretary of State.
Thank you so much, Mike, for that awesome introduction. You can't tell because it's dark in this room, but I'm sort of blushing because that was a lot of nice accolades, and I appreciate it. Thank you to the dudes for Emerge. It's good to have you on board. Many voices make this process work better. So I wanted to visit with you tonight just to talk a little bit about why local government is so important and why serving in local government is important. And I see so many familiar faces out there, folks that I've seen along the campaign trail, folks that I knew during my time in the legislature. And I just, from my vantage point as Secretary of State, it's even more clear to me how important having a myriad of diverse voices in local government is. Local government, serving in local government is a proving ground really for any other public service that you might do. It prepares you to, to humble yourself in asking for the vote. And I'm hearing these wonderful stump speeches tonight, and it really is truly inspiring to hear that you all are putting yourselves out there and the great things that you're talking about as you do that. But it's also about, practicing constituent service, right? Serving at the local level, you're going to get stopped in the grocery store and you're going to get stopped on the sidelines of a ball game by constituents who have questions for you. And that's a really beautiful thing because in many parts of this country and in many parts of the world, government is this distant and far away thing. And you have the opportunity as a local government official to be the face of government to someone. And, people will ask you questions when they see that you're approachable. They'll come to you with concerns when they see that you're open and listening. And that's something that's just so inspiring to me about new leadership at the local level. The other part of local government service is that, it's really a proving ground for listening, right? You're going to be spending a lot of time listening to your fellow city council or select board members, listening to constituents, listening to folks who are employees of your municipal government. And that listening that you do is so important to the good functioning of any government entity. The other thing that you're going to recognize as you serve in local government really is that you have to be able to shed criticism like water off a duck's back, right? Because you're going to hear it, you're going to face it, you're going to feel it from your fellow city council or select board members. You're going to feel it from folks who voted for the other woman or the other man. And I just want to encourage you to let it go like water off a duck's back, because you are serving, because you have a purpose. And that has to be much greater than any momentary criticism that you get. So many communities around Vermont are being led by the same 5 or 10 people who do, different things in different on different boards in the same community. And it's so important at this moment where so many of our communities are really struggling for new energy and new inspiration to really empower Emerge women to step into the local government space. Our communities need creative thinkers. They need people who are going to ask good questions and then who will listen to the answers. So not just asking questions of the other board members who are sitting there with you, but of your community and of your neighbors. Our communities need people who are committed to making our communities work better, not just doing what we've always done because this is what we've always done, but actually looking at how we can be more inclusive, how we can meet the needs of all of our community members, how we can grow and adapt in this crazy time when, you know, we had a little boom during COVID, but, you know, a lot of places in Vermont, their population is shrinking. So how do we think creatively about how to lead moving forward? And all of this brings me to the conclusion. And, you know, maybe you're not surprised, but my conclusion is that all of our communities need more women in leadership. I have seen such a tremendous transformation from 18 years ago when I first started serving in the House of Representatives to last year when I left. The more women you put around the table, the more inclusive and 360-degree thinking that conversation became. And so I am really inspired and excited and energized to see that energy is being brought to our local level by many of you who are running for your select board or your city council or your school board races. And I think it's a tremendous opportunity for the future of Vermont to really see the wonderful contribution of a group of people who know how to look at a community as a whole, from the most senior member of the community right down through our youngest members. So it's really inspiring to be with you all here tonight. And I want to say a big thank you again to Mike McCarthy, who's doing an absolutely fabulous job. You know, the great thing about where he has landed that he has to bring to that position is that he has experience serving in local government on that committee that is so integrally linked to how our local governments function. So you can always call Mike if you want a law change, and you can always call me if you need the Secretary of State's office to, to bring you a training or to bring you some information or some services. But I'm so excited to see you all elected to the positions that you are serving in now or running for now for the first time. And please don't be a stranger.
Thank you so much, Secretary Hanses, for joining us this evening. And if you don't know already, she is a graduate of the class of 22 of eMERGE. So we are so proud that both you and Attorney General Charity Clark are the statewide officers representing eMERGE Vermont in our government. Thank you so much for coming this evening and for your service.
Thank you.
We're going to continue our tour of Vermont now, and we're going to head into Northern Vermont. And some of our candidates are incumbents and some are challengers this time. Our first candidate from Chittenden County is Hannah King. Hannah is running for the Burlington City Council. This is Hannah's second race for this seat, and she almost brought it last time, 43 votes. It was a really challenging, excellent campaign. We know she's going to pull through this time. So welcome, Hannah King.
Thank you. And sorry, I'm actually in the middle of sorting through ballot chasing data. So my roommate and I are like frantically running around the apartment. So it's I'm going to be a little less formal, but as Elaine mentioned, I lost by 43 votes last time. So close. And the person that won ended up abandoning our ward and leaving the state kind of just out of the blue, which is really unfortunate, but I am running again because I have lived in Ward 8 this is my 6th year, and I have been a tireless advocate for my neighbors. I've served on my Wards 1 and 8 Neighborhood Planning Assembly Steering Committee. I was the youngest person in the city of Burlington to ever be elected to it and ended up chairing it. And I also serve as the Ward 8 representative on the Community Development Block Grant Advisory Board, which sorts through grants that are put forward to fight poverty. And with that, I'll also just mention a lot of the work that I do is rooted in the experiences of my family. I have a single mom and she's a healthcare worker, and my dad worked in construction. And so my siblings and I are, not strangers to the struggles of making ends meet. And so that's why I really want to be on city council to push forward actionable progressive policy. I just finished up working for our new Congresswoman, Becca Balint, as her finance director. And so while the Burlington races tend to be quite nasty, I was really excited to see her run a race that was rooted in compassion and staying positive. And so that's what I'm doing as well. And so my team has been out there every single night. We have knocked doors every single day and made calls every day for, I think, the last 30 days. So we're going to win this thing, but I need all of your help. And so my number one ask is, in my ward, it's half of UVM. And I know everyone on this call knows someone that goes to UVM or works at UVM. And so if you could all send a text or send an email, post on Facebook, whatever that looks like, and say, check out Hannah's campaign, that would be really, really helpful. And if we all do that, then we're going to win. And I think we can make some really big change for Burlington. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Hannah. Best of luck with your race. You are a hardworking campaigner. We see your pictures on Facebook of all the door knocking you're doing. Best of luck to you. Our next candidate is also from Chittenden County. Ellie Beckett is running for a contested seat on the Williston Select Board. She is a member of the class of 2022. Welcome, Ellie.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Elaine, and thank you, Emerge, and thank you, Emerge Dudes, for the opportunity. It's been so wonderful to hear from all the candidates who are fired up and ready to serve all over the state. So again, my name is Ellie Beckett, and I'm running for Williston Select Board. I'm running to continue my service to the town of Williston and pay back all the gifts that this community has given me and my family. I'm running to bring a new energy and a fresh perspective to the Select Board. I want to serve. My mother's example of public service as the Williston Town Clerk for 20 years and a member of the Army National Guard shaped my life. My own experiences growing up in Williston and being a young woman building her life here now have shown me that we must both keep Williston's historic identity and sense of community and manage the growth that will come. If elected, my priorities are the following. Number 1, natural resource protection. Williston must protect its green space and undeveloped land by continuing to concentrate growth in the growth center and working to ensure the town has adequate zoning regulations protecting our rural landscape and view sheds. We must adequately fund our town's environmental reserve fund, which has conserved over 2,000 acres of land since 1989. 2, small business support. Now more than ever, we must attract, retain, and assist small business owners who will make Williston a place where people want to be. And of course, 3, housing. We need to support local regulations that meet the need to increase housing stock and variety, but don't overwhelm town resources and school capacity. I've been interested in public service since my AP Gov class at CVU when I was 17. Everything I've done professionally since then has been in pursuit of becoming a more equipped public servant. I want to work on complicated and thorny issues, problem solve, and hopefully move the needle in a positive direction. This is an opportunity to finally start doing the thing I want to do when I grow up. So thank you everyone for being here. Vote for me if you live in Williston, or encourage your friends who live in Williston to vote for me to bring a new energy and fresh perspective to the Select Board. Thank you.
Thank you, Ellie. Best of luck on town meeting day. All right, we're going to move a little further north and we're going to head to Franklin County, where we will meet Brenda Churchill. Brenda is an incumbent of the Bakersfield Select Board, and she is running for re-election to that board. And Brenda also happens to be a graduate of the class of 2020 and a member of the Emerge Vermont Cabinet and a trusted advisor. So Brenda, please join us.
Boy, I want to say hi to everybody who's on here, but I especially want to give a shout out to Zach, our county chair, who's doing a phenomenal job. I've appreciated his guidance, and I hope he's with us for a long time. Sarah and Mike, what can I say? We're all friends and we work really well together. I want to let you know that I'm running in a very red town in a very red district, and every toehold we get is progressive. It really is. I'm going to talk about 3 things tonight. Infrastructure, environment, and housing. The last one first. Housing actually is everybody's concern. And one of the things that I want to look at within the town this term, because I'm going to go back in, is what is abandoned housing and how can we get that back on the tax rolls? How can we get people to live in those houses? There's at least a half a dozen that I've identified. And with bank financing and good contractors, I think we can flip these and make them make money again. We want to also talk a little bit about an environment. I think one of the most important things a town can be aware of, or at least a town selectman, is the roads. If you don't take care of the roads go to hell, and there's overtime and people working really hard, and the road crew works for you and hopefully works with you. One of the things I want to bring is a compactor into the town to compact the edges of the roads after they're graded. This will reduce erosion and decrease the amount of times we have to go out and grade. That's actually been in the works for years. And I said, why hasn't it got there yet? Last but not least, environment. One of the things that we live in is our environment, and roads are part of it, infrastructure is part of it, and making sure that we have green space, attractive space in towns to bring people to us. I don't know how many people have said they just like the feel of the town. Well, that's the goal in itself, and getting out there and making the town feel good might be something as simple as having open space and picnic tables. Might be as simple as having a weekend farmer's market. All these things are possible when you're on the select board, and we can make them happen. If you know anybody up in Bakersfield, which I doubt anybody here probably doesn't know anybody in Bakersfield. I call it South Canada. But ask them to come out and vote for us. Town meeting is now back live again for the first time in 3 years. This will be the first town meeting I get to sit through as a live select board person, and hopefully we can retain the seat and we can move on to bigger and better things. But thanks to everybody on this call. Men from Emerge, you're awesome. Appreciate it very much. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Brenda. Best of luck on town meeting day.
We'll have fun if nothing else.
Our next two candidates we'll hear from are running for school board, not select board. We are going to travel now to Lamoille County, and we're going to meet Christy Liddy, who is a member of the class of 22, and she is running for the Lamoille North Supervisory Union School District Board. Welcome, Christy. Christy, are you with us?
Sorry, I didn't unmute. Good evening, everyone. My name is Christy Liddy, and I live in Jeffersonville. I'm running for the Cambridge School Board position on the Lamoille North Supervisory Union School District Board. I was appointed in January to fill this position after the passing of Bill Sander, and would love to continue my journey with this appointment. I have participated in many board positions over the years, including treasurer of Girls Rock, Vermont, library trustee of the Jericho Town Library, and I'm currently serving on the membership committee for the Association for Rural and Small Libraries, and I am the chair of the Lamoille County Democratic Committee. As a member of the Cambridge Arts Council, I have promoted and helped organize many events in my town, but now I would like to move into a position which is valuable and integral to the health of the school board, and also one of advocacy. Running for the school board position is beneficial for a lot of reasons. I am a parent of a neurodivergent child for whom I advocate for on a daily basis. Being a part of a school board where decisions are regularly made will allow me to use my energy to advocate for the needs of all students. I am a strong proponent of public education and want to make sure diverse voices are represented in this part of our community. Lastly, I want the work of the late Bill Sander, who always advocated for the educational needs of the children of Lamoille County, to continue. I am the person that can fill that role as I champion doing the best we can for all of our children. Thank you in advance for your trust in me, and I look forward to accepting the challenge.
Thank you very much, Christy. Best of luck on town meeting day. Okay, our final candidate for the evening is back in Chittenden County. Laura Williams is a graduate of the class of 2018, and she is running for a seat on the South Burlington School District Board. Welcome, Laura.
Thank you, and good evening, everybody, and thank you for all still being here. Thank you, Men for Emerge, and thank you to Elaine for putting this great event together. My name is Laura Williams, and I'm running for South Burlington School Board. I'm a South Burlington community member and parent, and I've been a Chittenden County educator since 2010. I've also been serving on the South Burlington School Board since August of 2022. So there are a number of important issues I'll be working on, and here are some of my priorities. One, equity in education. I believe all of our children deserve the best education we can offer, and this includes teaching accurate, evidence-based history. While it is difficult to talk about slavery and its brutality, just to name one event, we have high-quality teachers in our district who are trained to guide children in these difficult conversations in an age-appropriate manner. It is important that when our children leave us, they understand our history, so they understand why racial inequities exist today, and that we need to actively work to dismantle these inequities. Two, the mental health of our students. The effects of the pandemic are still with us, and I will work with the board to support our superintendent in her search for a district-wide social and emotional learning coach. And lastly, the abysmal state of our infrastructure. We have 5 very old buildings, and 2 are suffering woefully from overcrowding, and all of which are suffering from deferred maintenance. We are asking our educators to do a really difficult job in buildings that are simply inadequate. So in the short term, the board and superintendent have worked hard to get a bond for modular classrooms on the ballot March 7th. These modular classrooms will provide temporary relief of overcrowding at 2 of the elementary schools. And in the long term, I will work with the superintendent, fellow board members, students, community members, and educators to create a long-term and responsible plan to build better and greener schools. So thank you so much for listening. I hope you'll vote for me on March 7th, and please vote for the bond and the school budget. Our children really need us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Laura. Best of luck with your election on town meeting day. And those are all the candidates we have to share with you tonight. I do want to give a shout out to Tara Arneson, who is running for re-election to the Mount Mansfield Unified Union School District Board, and Palin Cohn, who is running for election to the Montpelier City Council. They were not able to be here this evening at the last minute, but I wanted to make sure that we were aware of their campaigns as well. Thank you, everyone, for being here this evening to support these women who are working so hard in their communities, not just to aid their neighbors and the children and the seniors in their communities, but also to further the cause of women in leadership. We can't make progress on that without the women in the room tonight. So thank you so much, all of you candidates, for stepping up and running. It's hard work, but we're so proud of you. And no matter what happens on town meeting day, you have done good work. Thank you, Men for Emerge, for being here to support these women and all of the work of Emerge Vermont. We need allies and advocates like you all the time to help make space at the table for marginalized people and for people who are not represented. And lastly, thank you all for your support of Emerge Vermont. I couldn't do this work without any of you. I'm so proud of all of you, and I'm so glad to be on this challenging journey to increasing women's representation with all of you. Thank you so much for coming this evening, and have a lovely evening. Don't forget to vote on March 7th if you haven't voted already. Thank you.
Thanks, Elaine Haney. Yay.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Elaine. Bye-bye.
Great evening.
Good luck.
Thank you.